I feel like every time we get over something, something else happens.
No, isn't that exhausting?
Angela,
What?
you cannot give me advice on this.
What's that supposed to mean?
I mean, all the men you got in and out of your door?
Wait, what?
All right, Zatima fans. Now, I said this yesterday when the episodes dropped, and some people are like, nope, Jeremy Angela was wrong. She was out of pocket, and Fatima deserved to call her out. Or Angela deserved to get called out by Fatima. But the thing was, I actually rewatched episode 9 and 10 this morning because I'm like, man, I mean, I'm not a stranger to people disagreeing with my takes on an episode or a particular scene, or, you know, especially when fan favorite characters say or do something that honestly I feel, man, I felt like that was uncalled for. Yet, since they're fan favorites, people want to back them up no matter what. And there were times where I haven't been Angela's biggest fan. That is accurate. It's documented, whether it be in some of my videos or in my post. But in this particular scene towards the end of episode 9, this is after Deja, you know, had her birthday party crashed and guests thrown out by Fatima, when they're just chilling on the couch at Zach and Fatima's house. And Fatima begins venting, and Angela basically said, and I played the clip at the beginning of the video. I didn't even need to play like a full 30 seconds. Just the 18 or so seconds I played was enough. This was right before Fatima decided to shut Angela down and call her out for her, you know, just revolving door in terms of her bedroom where she's sleeping with different men almost every night. And I just looked at the scene again, and the entire scene, not just the clip I played, but I'm just like, this doesn't really make sense. It goes back to my main issue with season 3, which is there is a lot of forced tension and conflict for the sake of unnecessary drama. Has Belinda, or has Angela run her mouth before? Has she run her mouth before in regards to us blurting out unwarranted advice? And when Fatima vents, she tells this to Belinda? Absolutely. But in this particular situation, let's isolate this situation. Episode 9 of season 3. Well, actually episode 8 too, because it gets to the point I'm trying to make. But the thing is, Angela isn't blurting out advice. Fatima simply stated, it's like every time we get out of one thing, me and Zach get into another one. And then Angela simply stated, girl, isn't that exhausting? I don't think that was an invitation for Fatima to read her like a book and say it in a condescending way. It's like, Angela, I don't need you to give me advice. Then what are you venting to me for? Like, and then she addresses this, I think in episode 10 or in this particular scene, about how sometimes I just need to vent and I need people to listen instead of trying to give me advice. Angela wasn't trying to give you advice. She just simply asked a fair question. It's just the fact that, let's take it a step further, and here's why I rock with Angela on this one. Angela isn't just someone who hears about the Zatima drama. More often than not, she's front and center. Keep in mind what happened to Angela today. She witnessed both Zach and Fatima crashing out and destroying another person's home. Zach with Belinda, not even just throwing and breaking Belinda's things, but attacking his own friends. Then on top of that, you know, his crackhead brother, the addict brother was firing a gun and could have hit anybody. Luckily, he didn't come downstairs and start shooting. He just, fired off a few shots to escape. Then gets back to Fatima's place and then witnesses her tearing apart Deja's place and then taking a baseball bat out. And that's just today. And remember how I said we're isolating this one episode, well, technically 2, because, you know, the Zach crash out happened last week. But let's take it to, and look, let's forget about continuity and different universes and the fact that it's 2 separate shows. But this is not the first time Angela saw Zach black out and, you know, just go into Hulk mode. Remember in Sistas when her and Fatima got to what's it called, the steam plant, that one restaurant. This was after Angela, who started this crap, showed Fatima the picture from the salon of Karen and Zach hugging and like they were kissing. And then Fatima got on Zach's case, and then Zach went to find Karen, and then, he and Aaron got into it, and then Angela showed up with Fatima and saw the damage and everything that was happening. Yeah. So keep in mind, when Angela says these things like, isn't it exhausting? It's not just because she's constantly hearing Fatima complain about the baby mama drama and, the addict family members and, this, that, and then like the nosy friends and everything else. Sometimes Angela is there to witness this stuff. So for her to simply ask, isn't it exhausting? Wasn't an invitation for, well, you could argue, well, Jeremy, Fatima venting to Angela wasn't an invitation for her to ask that question. So how could you say that her saying or asking, isn't it exhausting, isn't an invitation for Fatima to read Angela? If you look at how the scene plays out, tell me it wasn't forced. If you look at Fatima tearing up Deja's place, tell me that wasn't forced. I didn't believe it. It just felt completely forced in there. Fatima is reaching the levels of ridiculousness as Angela Robinson, aka Veronica Harrington from the Haves and the Have-Nots during the later seasons, where her character was strictly there for the shock value. Oh, what's Veronica going to do next? Who is she going to blow up next? Whose house is she going to go in there and tear stuff up in next? What other homophobic slurs can she, blurt out now? Like what's the next unhinged Veronica moment that will get people talking? That's all the character became. That's all. Now, Angela, phenomenal job with the role, but I honestly think that Fatima has reached that level, where she became, the young Medea, like everybody compared to Medea. And it just feels like her crashing out and tearing up Deja's place was just completely that's because Jeremy likes Deja. That has nothing to do with that. It's just the fact that you could tell this felt completely scripted. Even though I thought it was unnecessary, when Crystal took that bat and was just tearing up Hayden's stuff, I felt that. I'm like, oh, dang, she's fed up with Hayden. She believes Hayden was the reason Zach got arrested. So at that point, she went over there and tore it up with a smile on her face. But when it came, did she, go overboard with like Hayden's father's urn? Yeah. But I believed, like, in that moment, like, oh, man, like, she let it out. And then the look on her face when Zach told her that Hayden had nothing to do with it was priceless. Now, when it comes to the Deja thing, it's just ridiculous because you have a party with, like, probably 20, 30 people, and nobody's going to do anything. They're just going to stand there around and let Fatima do this. That was completely stupid. Nobody tried to stop her. That was just dumb. And then her taking tearing up the apartment was one thing, but when she took the baseball bat, I'm like, really? I would have sued the hell out of her if that was my car that she whacked a few times. This makes no sense. And I sided with Deja because I would have called the cops too. Well, Deja does too much. Well, Fatima does too. It was all displaced anger. She lashed out at Angela and she lashed out at Deja. So in this moment, Angela did nothing wrong. I don't blame her for getting up and leaving. I don't. See, this could have all been played out differently if the purpose was, okay, we got to get Fatima out of the house for the night and get her to stay with Angela. Just say that, you know what, Angela, after everything that went on today with Zach and what just happened at Deja's, I think I need to get out of here. It's like, you want to stay with me, girl? Yeah, because, she probably won't call the cops on me. Not that I care, but I think Zach needs some space and I definitely need some space from this area. So, I'll come back in the morning to get ready for work. That's all you had to do. There was no need for this forced friction between Angela and Fatima. Now, you could argue that, well, this needed to happen. That way she invites Bryce over to think about what Fatima said and get the advice. I mean, yeah, but it just felt unnecessary, which goes back in line with my main issue with season 3, a bunch of unnecessary drama just for the sake of it. I mean, but that's just my 2 cents. I don't think Angela in this moment did nothing wrong. I think Fatima was out of pocket. And I mean, this is what happens when you constantly vent. And Angela just asked a fair question. And then to take it further, to wrap up the video, in terms of her, like, I just want you to find somebody special. And I mean, you don't need to sleep with different men all the time. If that's what Angela wants to do, that's what Angela can do. That's her choice. I mean, I'm single as hell. Imagine if I had imagine if I had a friend like, the way that Angela and Fatima are friends, imagine, I got a guy friend, like a male friend who's in a relationship with a woman, and they go through like all the random drama that Zach and Fatima do, and I'm a witness to some of that stuff. And then my friend's like, come on, Jeremy, man, you need to get in a relationship because, I don't like seeing you constantly going out with all these girls, or, well, in my case, just staying at home working and not going out to meet new people and whatnot. And it's like, you need a relationship. And I'm like, isn't it exhausting? Wait, what are you talking about? I mean, look at all the stuff you got going on in your life, in your relationship. Like, yeah, I'm low key, I'm a homebody, and sometimes I do get lonely, but at the end of the day, at least I don't have to go through all the drama you do. And that's a fair statement to make, because who are you to tell me that I need to be in a relationship because I don't want drama, or at the very least, nowhere near the drama you do. I mean, if you want to live in that life, or if you want to be in a relationship with somebody and it comes to all that flack, I don't like, just like you said that I'm in no position to give advice to you about relationships, you're in no position to give me advice about getting into a relationship, because the relationship you have that's advertised to me, that's what I don't want. So I'd rather be alone in a homebody than deal with all the constant drama of scorned exes, potential baby drama, and family members who are nothing but trouble. Hey, you can keep that. I'm like Medea in that one play. Like, I'd rather be alone in the corner with a puppy and a goldfish than living in a house with somebody else walking around wondering like, what the hell are they doing here? So I feel like Fatima was out of pocket, not Angela. Please let me know your thoughts. I mean, honestly, I'm not in a position where you can change my mind on this. I rewatched the episodes to make sure I wasn't missing anything, but no, this felt completely forced. So, and also I don't think Bryce was out of pocket either. Angela was the one that asked to be read, and did Bryce go a little overboard? A little bit, but hey, Angela asked for that reading. But when it comes to Fatima, completely out of pocket. So like and subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next video.